Lift and tug.
This flight took place yesterday on June 10th, 2020 from Crestline at about 2:30 in the afternoon on my Sport 3 155. And I got a good start on this flight, but I didn't realize I was too sick to fly until late in the flight. Watch this wire snap. Here it comes. Boom. Check that out. So, started out okay. Got downrange, but soon found myself not really thinking about what I was doing and was flying too aggressively. I had remembered, well, I had thought about earlier when looking at the forecast that this looked like one of those kinds of days where if you get low, you're not getting back up. And I wasted my altitude several times, and I will find myself low on this flight and stuck below 5,000 feet. And when I did have a chance to get established higher, like 7,000 to 9,000 feet, where the other pilots were, I was impatient, which is typical for me when I'm sick with an upper respiratory infection. In this case, I actually had a fever. When I did get home, the temperature was 99.5. My normal temperature is 97.8. It's almost never 98.6. Also, I flew the day before at Silmar and got the crud beat out of me in the turbulence. The video is posted. I just put the whole hour and whatever it was, 50 minutes of that flight up. I didn't have time to edit it. Honestly, I should not have flown yesterday. That's this flight here. Should have stayed, gone back to bed, and just gotten well and waited for another good day some other time. So I'd be feeling good. I wasn't feeling good during this flight. Didn't enjoy it. I flew safely, but I flew stupidly. And in fact, the fact that I'm down here below rim forest, this low on a day where the lower level lift is not reliable, it's just not intelligent flying. I mean, I can get out of there, but it's like, what's the point in beating my head against the wall when I fly, when I can relax and take my time like other pilots who get high and stay high and don't waste their altitude. So I'm needlessly aggressive in my flying here and shouldn't be. And also, had I been more relaxed, it would have been easier on the fact that I had upper respiratory infection and a fever. And so I would have stayed higher and have been cooler. At least I had enough sense not to fly with my heavier gloves and not to fly with a jacket. So I'm just wearing an intermediate thermal layer over my lightweight wicking shirt. So I'm dressed correctly. So I did that right. And what else did I do right? What I did right later is I landed. And I landed when the landing was good. And so I'll end up having a good landing, and I broke down in an area where there's a mister, one of those things that puts out the fine mist of water that help keep me cool. So, all those things were smart. And so I'm not as miserable today as I would have been had I pushed it harder. I did want to get out and fly. Why? Because if you look up and to the left of my helmet, you'll see my new attachment point for my digital voice recorder, and I also made a new windscreen for it. And I think it's working pretty good. I would appreciate feedback on the sound. The previous 3 flights on this glider were done with the digital voice recorder inside the sail, and that amplifies sound tremendously. It's like the resonating box on an acoustic guitar in the sail, and so it makes everything like 10 times louder. There's Jeff, one of my regular midweek flying buddies, and this is as much as I've flown with him ever. So I spend a lot of time chasing him and thermaling with him, and then I finally get impatient later on and dive across Devil Canyon towards the foot of Pine Flat. That comes later. Right now is the fun part, just chasing him. Hopefully my narration isn't distracting from the sound. Like I said, I wouldn't mind knowing if the sound is okay. I've been avoiding trying to make a fur covering to go over this streamlined sort of teardrop shaped foam windscreen I have on my digital voice recorder. I don't know that the fur will work. It's going to be a lot of work for me to do it so that the fur covering doesn't flap. But it may be worth it, so I need to find out. Also, I think I want to raise it up higher because my hand almost touches it when I'm landing, because I like to get high on the bars with my hands so I get a good flare. Alternately, I want to move the microphone off to the left so it's actually close to the variometer, so you hear the chirping real good. And it'd be on a stalk next to the left side wire. And also, what am I thinking? I won't hit it with anything. It'll be out of the way. My hand won't touch it. Also, I won't knock it sideways while I'm picking up or setting up the glider and then launch with a cockeyed microphone, which is going to end up with horrible wind noise, and that's going to ruin the sound for the flight. So, a couple of different thoughts there. Another thing that I want to do is put fins on it and actually float the digital voice recorder in the foam windscreen so that it always lines up into the apparent wind, and that will keep the spurious wind noise to an absolute minimum. And in order to do that, then I definitely would need to put it on a stalk off to the side, and so that might be the best thing to do. I need to get motivated to do this, but once it's done, if it works the way I think it will, it'll be pretty cool. It'll look like having a little bomb on the left, off of the left down tube, like I'm gonna do some sort of bomb drop contest, but it'll actually be my recording device, my sound recording device. So that's the next thought, and that way I don't have to line it up. It'll be self-aligning. All I'd have to do is attach the stalk to the left down tube, the lower left down tube corner, right above. If you look real closely, just above the skid to the left of the variometer is this yellow thing. That is my drop streamer. I keep it attached with some rubber bands, so if I'm landing and I don't know what the wind is doing, like right now, I see it's blowing from the northwest, so it's blowing downhill. And that tells me there is some type of thermal on the landing zone or off the landing zone to the southeast. So I'm heading southeast right now. I've got enough altitude for one turn, and if this thing isn't a boomer, I need to get on the ground and it's not a boomer. I felt it. I'm like, nope, that's not a boomer. Get your feet out, dude. Get on the ground, even if the wind is dead. Just get on the ground while you can still think. And so I focus real hard and do a decent job of landing. Alright, that's it. I hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Catch you soon. Bye.